As the shortest player in D1 history, you've got to be calculated and crafty. That's exactly what Darnell Rodgers is. Some of the techniques he uses are crazy fun to watch, so we're going to break it all down offensively and defensively. So first off, as a shorter guard on defense, one of the toughest things to deal with is successfully contesting shots. You have a shorter reach, so naturally you have to find ways to make up for that. One way Rodgers does this is by jumping earlier than the shooter, which is crazy because most great defenders will jump right after the offensive player jumps. But he's so good at anticipating shots at this point that he's able to be up in the air before that shooter, many times making up for the height difference. Next is his deceleration and recovery ability. Not only is he great at decelerating laterally as he cuts off that offensive player, but transitioning out of that deceleration too, rotating and sprinting to cut off that offensive player who has him potentially even beat already. And this is huge because many times he's got to take risks and be that pesky defender. So he'll get off balance, out of position at times, but since he's able to decelerate and get himself back into position, he's able to continue to do this successfully. Plus, he's really smart with using his help. He understands he doesn't always have to stay fully in front, and if he's able to funnel his man into that help defense, he'll be good. And then lastly, he takes advantage of being shorter and just under that offensive player, which actually helps him be at the level for a steal to swipe away the ball at the waist, or even take a charge or draw that offensive foul. And not to mention, getting over screens becomes a bit easier, especially when you're as quick and agile as him. Next, let's talk attacking and finishing. So he loves using this 180-degree turn, especially in the vicinity of a screen. Now this does two things. Number one, it's a great way to creatively take a step towards the screen, sell using that screen before rejecting it and getting into space. And number two, every athlete has certain moves that they just feel more comfortable with accelerating out of. This seems like one of those for him. He's able to really push off that back foot, use that turn to lean into the acceleration, and explode past defenders well here. Also notice how good he is at driving middle and coming across the lane into a finish. I'm not 100% sure why this is, other than that the offense is running a ton of screens coming middle, but I think it's also because he's able to cover more ground this way, which means more time and space to beat that defender with his speed. Plus it allows him to get to a reverse with that left hand, so he uses that rim as protection and he's able to go to a strong hand. That's just my guess though. Regardless, it's a good example of something that he wants to get to, and he constantly does, regardless of a height difference. Notice also here how he creates a wide angle on some of his drives. Now what this can do is let him take advantage of his speed. Again, by creating space, he has more ground to cover, and he'll simply get past that defender and sneak in front of them, which puts them in jail. When you're in front of your defender, it's not going to be easy for them to recover without fouling. Or, in different situations, he's able to use this space from his defender to jump back into them with a ton of momentum, which completely negates their jump and ability to contest that shot. Plus, he'll do it at different timings, jumping earlier from far away at times to throw off their contest and block timing. And of course, as a shorter guard, these quick trigger finishes where he's just getting the ball up into the basket before the defender can time it is essential. Whether it's a quick layup or an unpredictable floater, he's really good at getting the ball up into the air quickly before the defender times it. And then lastly, how does he get his shots off at a shorter stature? Well, most times you'll see that defender moving slightly backwards as he shoots. This is partly because he's able to use the threat of his speed to get them on their heels with even very simple moves. Then with such a quick release, it makes it even easier to get these three balls off. Then off the catch, he's actually really good at relocating and finding space for open spot ups, which most point guards truly aren't the best at. He's constantly finding open pockets of space and making that pass easier on his teammates. So statistically, his spot up game is pretty damn good. So as with any player, there's so much more that goes into this, but I just wanted to highlight a few of the really interesting things here. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, took something from this video, and are able to apply this into your own game. Make sure to follow me on Instagram at ByAnyMeansBasketball for a lot more like this.